Good evening, everyone. This is Rotor Talk Live, Season 4, Episode 42, Autel Evo Nano DJI Mavic 3 Pro new updates. How is everyone doing tonight? Got lots and lots to talk about. First of all, I want to say what a great show Drone Nation was last night, okay? You guys knocked it out of the park. And Ron and Marcus, they'll probably they'll be on in a little bit. I know Ron will, more than likely Marcus. Kudos to their guests last night. Maddie, you did an awesome job last night. And Bob Dempsey, awesome job as well. You got a great thing going out there, Bob. Keep it up. Maddie, we're going to have you on sometime. You just knocked it out of the park. You hit a home run. Welcome to the show tonight. Hope everyone is doing well. I want to start things out tonight by remembering something that happened 21 years ago today. And it was something that was really devastating. We suffered a terrorist attack 21 years ago today. And the USS Cole, I don't know if you remember that, destroyer was bombed over in Yemen. And 17 American sailors lost their lives in the line of duty. And if you don't mind, my dad was in the Navy, I really feel for all the armed forces, I'm a very strong supporter of each and every branch of them, especially the United States Navy. So if you don't mind, I'd like to offer a moment of silence for these 17 brave Americans who gave their lives in the line of duty. Fair winds and following seas. Shipmate, you stand relieved. We have the watch. Thank you. All right. Like I said, we got a boatload to talk about tonight. More news came out. More news comes out. It's like every Monday, Tuesday, more news comes out. Gonna talk about lots and lots and lots to talk about tonight. Okay. DroneXL. Once again, all the articles that I talk about tonight have already been posted on Build a Drone Reviewer Facebook group and Facebook page. So you guys are welcome to find them there. Okay. All right. Thanks for indulging me for a minute about that. I'm a real strong supporter of the armed forces here, and wanted to remember that. They were patriots to the core. All right. Maddie's Drone World, Akara Show, Stephen Ewing is here. Mike Rennick's here. B. Wayne, Annalie is here. Drone News Media. Dr. Ted is here. Welcome, Dr. Ted. Fly Guy Merrill. Johnny Drone Flyer. Welcome, Johnny. Let's see who else we got. Billy Tompkins. Johnny Bonifant. Dylan Reed. Who else we got in? Jim O is here. Who else? Let's take a look here and see. I just want to make sure got everybody covered. Skypath drones and drone shots. All right. Now we're gonna get started here. Now the first thing that I wanted to talk about, and Maddie did a great job talking about this last night. Hats off to you, my friend. Okay. DJI Fly update. Stephen Ewing informed me in the notes in the show, if you want to take a look and scroll up, that there was another update today to take care of a compass calibration issue. So I'm probably sure there's more information out on that. And what I'm about to give you is just a, excuse me, is a 50,000 foot view of this. Now, this article was out on Drone DJ. So let me go ahead and get this article up here. Okay, new DJI Fly app updates live stream and Android 12 support. Okay, now basically a new streaming feature and image transmission settings allows you to share drone footage in real time. Support to view video cached before loss of image transmission and Find My Drone. Support for the just released Android 12, which is expected to arrive on Google Pixel phones in the next few weeks, and Samsung Galaxy, OnePlus, Oppo, Realme, Tecno, Vivo, and Xiaomi devices later this year. A fix for certain issues and optimization of overall app quality. Admittedly, it's a new live streaming feature that will attract most DJI users. It allows you to stream the drone video to different platforms using communication protocol called RTMP real-time messaging protocol that was developed by Macromedia and is now owned by Adobe. Your smartphone's internet connection would serve it as the uplink, with the app asking for a stream URL and a stream key to establish a connection. You have the ability to choose between 720p and 1080p resolution and 5 megabits per second or 3 megabits per bit rate. Okay, this demo video shows how Mini2 can stream directly to YouTube, provided you have at least 1,000 subscribers with a Fly app. Now, you probably can ignore that about the 1,000. I've heard all you need to have is 50. This is from Henrik's channel, Tech Drone Media. And again, I'm going to drop this article here. Let's do this. I'm going to get this in the chat right now so you guys can go ahead and have this article here. Let's do that. There we go. All right, there's your article right there. Okay. All right. So we got that handled. All right. So it's a good thing. All right. And I think DJI is gearing up here. Okay. Because we're going to talk about this here in a minute. You know, you're not, and we kind of touched on this last week, and I think you guys know, the Go 4 app is slowly fading into the sunset here, and it's going to be the DJI Fly app going forward for the Mavic 3 Pro. So stay tuned for that. I'm sure it's going to these are little things DJI is doing right now to prep for the Mavic 3 Pro, and like I said, we're going to talk about that here in a few minutes. All right, you know, I wanted to make sure that we started off with this, because I think it's a good foundational thing with this app update. And of course, Android 12 rolls out very late to the other ones. Now, they're saying that for iOS devices, it's not yet available, and that they are working on it. And trust me, it will get out there sooner rather than later. So stay tuned and be patient. You know, this is something that's been long awaited by a lot of people, including myself, because I used to do this a lot, and then it just didn't work anymore. And it was very frustrating. And there was a workaround. Mel had actually done a workaround, got it to work, and then that got taken away. And there were some others, and that got taken away, and it was just not working for anybody. And now finally it's back. And I think this is going to be fantastic. It's a great medium, you know, and one of the things I do have to say about that is, you know, you got to be in an area with a strong signal to do that. And I'm talking like either cell phone signal, carrier signal, that type of thing. Because if you're not, or like I did mine from my house, so I always had Wi-Fi, so it was always a pretty decent signal. You know, if you're out in the boonies, you're probably not going to get a good signal with this. So just be aware of that. Just wanted to make sure everybody knows that. So, okay. So one of the other things that I wanted to talk about tonight here, okay, you know, we now have confirmation of this Action 2 release date, and I'm going to get to the date and everything in a minute here, because I think, you know, it's part of the Mavic 3 update, and I wanted to do that. But I wanted to touch base again and cover what we're getting on the Action 2, just so everybody was familiar. I kind of went over this a little quickly last week, and I wanted to spend a few minutes on it to make sure everybody knows what's coming on the Action 2. So hang on a second here. Let me bring this up. All right. Action 2 release date, price, specs, and accessories leaked. All right. Forget the name. You know, it's going to be called the Action 2. Dual screen combo. Action 2 will come in two versions, a dual screen combo and a power combo. Action 2 will be officially announced on October 27th. This is also known as the release date, and 1 week after we get to see, well, and that's not correct, because the articles was before the article I'm going to talk about, okay? Now, the Action 2 redefined camera records 4K 120 frames per second on 155 degrees field of view. The footage is horizontally stabilized on accessories such as gimbals. The Action camera is waterproof up to 30 feet. Action 2 can be used in a variety of ways thanks to the magnetic versatility of the drone and the accessories, okay? Now, we did talk about that. The price of the Action 2 between $400 and $500 USD, and various accessories will be available to suit various scenarios. DJI's target audience includes travelers and explorers, outdoor extreme adventurers, tech and photography enthusiasts. Accessories will include a power module, macro lens, remote control extension rod, waterproof case, Osmo Action extension rod. Okay. One of the things that I wanted to touch on with this, with the Action 2 here, okay, and let's stop and take a look at this here, guys, because what DJI did was they designed this, and I think this was not by accident. What they did was they wanted to make sure that this is going to work with, guess what? FPV, all right? And having this standalone module like that, that's exactly why they did that. And I would not be surprised, okay? I haven't seen anything about this, but I was thinking about this today. Don't be surprised that there might be a combo with a DJI FPV. They might figure out a way to work this with the FPV, okay? I'm just kind of saying that, all right? Who knows? They could do that. I'm not sure, but it could happen. So I just kind of wanted to throw this out there for everybody to make sure that they know about this, because I think it's pretty important that you guys have an idea why they build these in separate modules, okay? I know Ron and I talked about that, and I really wasn't in favor of it because, I agree when Ron was talking about the Insta360 and their separate modules. Didn't like that at all. Didn't think it was a good idea. But now I'm kind of seeing that, for the versatility of this, not necessarily for the DJI FPV, but for other ones. And maybe it'll work with a DJI FPV, but mounting this on an FPV drone, it could really work and be a great seller for them. So who knows? Stay tuned. We're going to find out more about this. This is something that I think is going to be coming up. Now, one of the other things that I wanted to talk about and spend a few minutes on tonight, I am sorry about the coughing tonight, guys. Okay. We have the Autel Evo Nano, all right? And we've seen the specs. We've talked about the specs. They're great specs. First thing that I want to do is I went out to, and I think this would be a good thing, is I went out to DroneWorks because you can actually, quote unquote, technically order one, so to speak. And let's go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead out there, and we're going to take a look at this. Okay, this is on our DroneWorks website, and you can see now they have Evo Lite Plus, the Evo Lite, the Evo Nano Plus, the Evo Nano, and the Autel Evo 2 Dual Radiometric Enterprise. We're going to talk about the Evo Nano Plus and the Evo Nano for right now. That's kind of what I want to focus on here. Okay, we're looking at and we've talked about the pricing and everything, and I know, and we've kind of hashed this out again and again and again. And one of the things that I wanted to go over here in this segment here is, all right, while this is going to be I think it's going to be a great drone. I think it's going to be a great mini drone. I think it's going to give DJI a run for their money as far as the features are concerned. I think it's going to be a quality drone, but there's one problem. Okay. And this is just me. All right. Remember something here, okay? Let's go back to the previous, not the CES from last year, obviously, but CES 2 years ago. Remember, it was at the last minute that Autel was able to get a booth at CES. And the reason it was at they were able to do that was they had an infusion of cash from China, from the parent company over in China, to be able to do that. All right. They're a company that is, they've really trimmed down. They've really, there's a lot of people who don't work for them anymore. They've really kind of pared things down here. All right. Now, when we all know what happened with Randall Warren, and I wish him all the best. And, these things obviously were in the works before, he even came on board. And, he knew about these things, and I'm sure he was very pleased to see this. Now, one of the things I think is going to be a problem with Autel, I think it's going to be supply and demand. I think they're going to have a great demand for these drones. I think they're going to sell very well. However, I don't think initially they'll be able to keep up with the demand. All right. Picture this. All right. Up until, look how many you see: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different drone platforms. Okay. Autel was handling the Evo 2 platform, remember, whether it was a 6K or 8K or the other one with the FLIR module. All right, it was basically the same drone, so they were manufacturing the same drone. So it simplified production. Okay, it really made it easy for them, because internally, looking at the drone, except for the camera, that was the same drone, the Evo 2, whether it was a 6K, the 8K, the FLIR. Okay, and it was just the camera that was different. Here, you're talking about, let's go here. That's 1 here, there's 2 here, there's 3 here. So let's say there's 3 different types of drones here. All right. It takes manufacturing facilities to be able to handle this. I have no idea what Autel's situation is. All right. But I'm offering an educated guess here. I don't think initially that they'll be able to keep up with the demand, because I don't think they cannot crank out product like DJI can crank out product. Okay. I don't think they have the resources to be able to do it. Now, I could be wrong on this. I could be all, I could be all washed up on this, but I have a hunch that initially they're going to have a hard time keeping up with demand. You're going to probably see some frustrated people out there placing their orders, and I don't blame them. All right. I think if Autel was smart, and this is just me, okay, if Autel was smart, I think they should have probably staggered these releases. I think maybe like to be able to get out product and for, so demand does not exceed, capacity. And remember DJI back with the original Mavic Pro, where, they did not count on that selling well. They had no idea how well it was going to sell. And it surprised everybody. And it took them 3 to 4 months to catch up on orders because they had such an incredible demand. All right. That's I think what we're going to see here with Autel. I think they have a great product. I'm going to get one, not now, but I am going to get a Nano Plus. I think it's going to be a great drone. I think it's going to do very well. I'm just concerned that Autel is going to not be able to keep up initially with the demand. Okay. And I'm saying initially. All right. I think once things settle down here a little bit, I think they'll be able to do that and be able to handle orders. So we'll see about this. All right. And, as you can see, you can probably, I don't know if you can do a deposit or, have to pay for the whole thing right now on DroneWorks. I don't know. Probably our good friend Original Dobo would know that right now. But they're all available there with prices and ready to go here. So we'll see. Now I'm hearing they're going to be available in about a week. So stay tuned. We'll take a look and we'll see. I'm hoping I'm wrong here. Okay, I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm hoping Autel can keep up with this, because one of the things that I will say is having Autel on board and making quality drones and, offering some good customer support is going to push DJI to do even better. So stay tuned for all this. We got this coming up. I really see a lot of good happening from this, guys. I really do. It can't hurt. All right. Now, and one of the things that people have it's been whisper quiet this week. And I mean, let's say I've seen some things in the forums, but they really haven't talked a lot about it. Is this the Mini 3? It's been whisper quiet. Nothing has been made mention of out there. Now doesn't mean, and we went over it last week. I did spend some time on this last week with you guys. We did talk about this. Greg Pittman, welcome tonight. I'm glad you're here. Brad Alston, welcome. Glad to see you tonight. Just checking through the comments here a little bit. So, yeah, Mini 3. Who knows? Okay. Now it's been DJI's denied this. Now they've done that. They did that before with the SE, and they denied that, and then the SE came out. Who knows? All right. And who knows when we get to the Mavic 3 and talk about the theme that they have for these releases right now. DJI always comes up with a theme for that. So I'll put money on the Mini 3 not showing this year. You're probably right, Stephen Ewing. The more I think about it, DJI is laser focused on the Mavic 3 Pro. All right. They got a couple other things coming out. We're going to talk about that here in a minute. But they are laser focused on the Mavic 3 Pro this year. All right. They're heads down on that. Okay. One of the things that I can say that you will see is, okay, that Mini SE is going to continue to sell well, and it's going to continue to do very well this year. Their mini drones are insane. Let's go. I'll give you an example. Now, obviously we don't have numbers, and we can't get numbers from DJI. They never publish those numbers on units sold or, what their dollar figures are or anything. But one of the things I can say is in the groups that I run, the largest group that I have is the mini group, right? The DJI mini group. And it's over 12, it's probably 13,000 right now. The Mavic 2 group is about the same, but it's been kind of, getting slowing down because of that. The Mavic 3 group is starting to perk up. It's over 1,000, and we're getting probably about 100, at least 100 people a week join that, which is all great. And continue to do that. We're going to crank out good information in these groups. I've got some stellar admins. They do a fantastic job. My hat is off to all of them. Okay. Commercial interruption here. All right. I want to offer a sincere thank you to each and every one of you. Last week's show, all right, episode 41, it was the most watched Rotor Talk live that I have ever had. Had currently before I aired tonight, I noticed it had 746 views. So that is incredible. And my hat is off to each and every one of you. That's a lot of views. When you consider that it's over an hour long, we are very, very happy with that. I want DeMarco Moore, welcome, my friend. Good to see you here tonight. We're very, very pleased with that. I can't stress that enough. Just absolutely, positively pleased with that. I think it's great. I really, really am happy with that. That's just fantastic. So my hat is off to all you guys for coming in. You run a great chat. You guys moderate the chat well. Ray Kelly, welcome, Ray. JSK Enterprise, who else is here? Matt Bagwell, welcome, Matt. You guys do a great job in the chat, and you bring up some great points, and I want to thank you guys for that. And I can't thank you guys enough. And this year, during the holidays at Christmas, I'm going to have some giveaways, okay? Because I didn't do it last year, but we're going to do it this year because I feel like I'm being in a festive mood and giving you guys some things, probably some T-shirts and some other things like that, and some mugs and whatnot. But yeah, we'll have some fun, and who knows? Maybe throw a surprise in or two. Not a drone, but maybe a surprise or two. You guys will like it. So anyway, all right. Enough of that. Well, Mini 3, to kind of wrap things up with that, and I kind of want to move on from there. All right. There was a lot of talk about that. And I think right now, we've always talked about how Frank Wang is laser focused, and he does not want to ever look in the rearview mirror. Okay. He wants other people okay, to be looking to play catch up with him. And the Evo Nano and the Evo Nano Plus are going to be real competitors for DJI. All right. I think when they come out with a Mini 3, whenever they do, which, and I have a tendency right now, and I think I'm more or less agreeing with what our friend Stephen Ewing said about it coming out next year, because it's a crowded field right now for DJI. Oh, sorry about this coughing tonight, guys. It really is a crowded field, and just got a lot going there. Got an awful lot going there. So, all right, what you've all been waiting for. All right, the Mavic 3 Pro update. All right, now first of all, there's some articles that came out, and I wanted to share this first article, which I think is really good here. Let's go ahead here. Now, DJI always has a theme for their releases. Okay. The theme this year, good things come in threes. All right. Mavic 3 release date and 2 other products confirmed by DJI. Good things come in threes, October 20th, October 27th, November 5th. All right. Now, the photo announces the release date of the Mavic 3 Action 2, and the film recording device is tastefully done by DJI. On a black background, we see the DJI logo, followed by the sentence, good things come in threes. Underneath, we see a red record button and the date October 20th. Below that, we seems to be with the base connector of the DJI Action 2 and the date October 27th. And below that, we see the Mavic 3 battery, the forward green LEDs, the on-off button, and a date of November 5th, okay? So, and there this is right here. And here it is on DJI Global. Let's bring that up. There we go. Now we have firm dates, all right? October 20th, expect to see a film recording device, likely an DJI Osmo product, not the Mavic 3, as we were originally informed. On October 27th, DJI released the Action 2. Finally, November 5th, DJI released long-awaited Mavic 3 drone, the successor to the Mavic 2 Pro and Zoom, okay? That's the first bit of news that we have today, all right? Now, the other bit of news that we have is more DJI Mavic 3 photos leaked, including detailed shots of battery, okay? Maybe the most exciting photo of the set is this one. It shows the Mavic 3 folded and taped onto a tray plate like a tripod, likely to test the video recording capabilities of the drone. The person in this that is visible in the phone has been blurred in an effort to keep his identity secret. We can see that he's likely holding the remote controller that we already know from the Air 2S that will come standard with the Mavic 3. The new RC Pro, basically the new smart controller V2.0, will only come with a much more expensive Mavic 3 Cine Premium combo, okay? You can see this right here. The other photos that were leaked show the DJI Mavic 3 battery. Becomes clear right away that the battery is more substantial. Ron has joined us. Hey, Ron, how are you, sir?
Hello, Bill. Welcome. I want to welcome everybody in chat. Sorry, I'm running late here tonight, but I'm glad to see you got a good audience, and you're getting to the good stuff now. So I was listening with bated breath there. But one quick question I want to ask, Bill. That guy's blurred out in that picture with the Mavic 3. Can we confirm that that's Lauren Donner?
That is absolutely Lauren. You nailed it on the head. I didn't even see him, Lauren, in the.
Sorry, we outed you, Lauren. But no, you're about to get to the battery here.
Yeah, and, the other photos that were leaked show the Mavic 3 battery. It comes clear right away. The battery's more substantial than what we were used to from the Mavic 2 Pro and Zoom. It looks similar to the battery from the DJI FPV drone, and unlike previous Mavics, this battery is loaded from the back. Battery has 4 LED lights to indicate the charge status, as well as an on-off button. The photos were shared on Twitter this morning by Jasper Ellens. Okay, there's the back of the battery. There's some writing on it right there. When you see the DJI Mavic 3 battery, professional photos, you know the marketeers will get their information to set up web shops. The size is 124 by 44 by 42 millimeters. It has 30% bigger capacity, 46 minutes. That's pretty incredible, Ron.
I mean, Bill, I know a lot of people say about the battery life, they already fly long enough, but I'll tell you, Bill, like when I fly my Autel Evo 2, that extra 5 minutes of battery life I get over the the other drones, your typical DJI Mavic 2 Pro, Mavic Air 2, is extra 5 minutes. Sometimes that means you could fly with just one battery. You don't have to stop and put the second battery, because sometimes you just need a few more minutes. So this bigger battery will be nice, because sometimes what's normally a 2 battery flight for you now becomes a 1 battery flight.
Absolutely. And those last 5 minutes are key, because if you're up, it's trying to catch a sunset and you've got, you've got like 3 or 4 minutes left before the sun really gets to where it's a great, gonna get a great picture, and you get the 20% warning or the 10% warning, and it's like, no. But
right, and you land it just because you don't want to hear that beeping for the next 5 minutes. So you land and put a new battery in, but that battery really doesn't get much of a, you don't really use much of it. So that's probably not good for the battery.
Mm-hmm. And,
so
so
I'm all for this, the bigger battery or whatever, especially if it doesn't come at a greatly enhanced cost.
I don't think it will, because I think, as I heard you guys talking about last night, and by the way, you guys had an excellent show last night.
Thanks for dropping in with you had the old farts on there, and as you know, you were in the show with Bill Thomas. That whole thing started because they were watching us on Tuesday nights.
Bob Dempsey was great, and Matty was he was spot on.
Matty really has some good info on that.
He did.
You and I are big live guys, whatever. So that's why I wanted to bring somebody in that knew a little bit more about the live streaming.
Yeah, Matty was great on that, and kudos to him. He really knocked that out of the park. I thought he did a great job.
Thanks for coming in there and leaving some good comments. Now, when I first tuned in, you were going over that teaser that DJI released today with the 3 different things. I want to get that in a minute, but we do know that there's a teaser coming tomorrow from DJI. I think a video type teaser now. Jasper Ellens is hinting around that we won't see a drone in this teaser, so it could possibly be the teaser for the DJI. We don't call it, say, Osmo anymore, but the Action 2.
Action 2, yeah, that's what
possibly that's going to be the teaser for it tomorrow. But what do you think the 3 things stand for in that in the teaser the DJI released today, the non-video teaser?
Well, the non-video teaser, it's going to be, they showed it here, and I'll bring that picture up. Let me.
Because almost everybody on the internet is guessing that one of them is the Mavic 3 and one of them is the Action, but they're trying to figure out what the third one is.
Okay, they're thinking it's some type of, and here I'll bring it up. I have it up on screen. They're thinking it's some type of Osmo, maybe another gimbal.
We've seen the leaks a couple of weeks ago. It looks like they have a a professional gimbal rig with with a professional camera on it.
Yeah,
and I guess the camera is built in from DJI, but it looks like it's like a not what we're used to, like a tiny camera. It looks like it's a full frame type of camera on the thing.
Yeah, it's a full frame type of, and you know what? And I was thinking about this last night, and I know we had talked about, and you made mention of the fact about the Insta360 and how you weren't real fond of like the different modules and type of things like that. And I agree with you. I was thinking about the Action.
I'm saying I've never owned it. I'm just saying it just on what I think.
Right.
I've actually never touched the product, so
right.
I may have different. I may think different. I should play with it.
Right. What I was thinking that DJI was doing when they came up with the Action 2 was they made it also specifically to be used in FPV drones. Okay. It's a perfect fit, and I wouldn't be surprised if there'd be some way to retrofit it to like the DJI drone, the DJI FPV drone.
And somebody put in the comments or someplace that this is the camera for the FPV drone 2 from DJI.
Yeah.
Somebody said that.
Yeah,
we're just talking rumors here, especially on specs. But some people speculate that the Action 2 will have the the 1/1.7 sensor rather than the 1/2/3 sensor that the Hero 10s currently uses. So in other words, that the Action 2 will have a larger sensor, better in low light than what the current GoPro has, which could give it another leg up besides just the module designed for FPV guys. Everybody wants the better low light performance.
Oh yeah, and it would instantly kind of jump to the head of the class as far as that's concerned. I mean, for me, and I'm going to be honest, it's Ron. My Action does everything I need it to do. It shoots great video. I'm pleased with it. I don't see anything for me personally, for what I use my Action for is replacing it. I mean, my Action is good. It doesn't, interest me at this point.
I'm the same way. The module thing's not helping me out because I don't fly FPV. I don't think I'm going to be flying FPV in the near future. So the module thing doesn't do a whole lot for me. But I mean, if it was just a better camera, just for being a better camera, then I could possibly think about switching from the Hero 10 over to that if it's just a better pure camera. So we will see it. I mean, I'd probably speak for both of us. It's great they're making this camera. It's great for the FPV guy. But you and I want to get to the drones.
Yeah, and and one of the things that I wanted to talk about, and I know you guys spent some time on it last night, was the base price of the Mavic 3 Pro. We're hearing now again it's going to be around $1,600 just for the drone. It's the drone, the battery, the charger, that type of thing. Just the basic setup, which I think is, and Marcus said, it's a knock it out of the park home run.
I mean, I know you and I were early adopters of the DJI smart controllers, and we're big proponents of smart controllers. But if I have to go, if I have to fly the Mavic 3 for the first 6 months or year without a smart controller, I mean, I think the benefits of the Mavic 3 will outweigh the cons of having to go back to the normal controller again. Just my opinion, Bill.
Well, and one of the things that I'm really thinking, and I think I dropped it in the comments last night, I think the smart controller that's going to come out with the Cine Premium combo, I think they're just doing this for this release, okay?
Yeah.
It's not a going forward type of product, all right?
Right.
Really, what they did was they kind of beefed up the original smart controller. It has a better chipset in it. Maybe a little bit better battery life, some more ports on it.
03
and 03.
Yeah.
And this is just, for me, I'm like you, I'm going to wait. All right. And what I'm going to do in the interim, and I know you guys talked about it a little bit last night, was I'm going to get the triple tech, because here's what I'm planning on doing. All right. I'm going to get the Fly More combo, and then I'm going to get the triple tech tablet with that, because that triple tech tablet will also work with my Air 2S without any problem. All right. It's just absolutely.
And you're an Android guy anyway, so it makes sense. Speaking of big hitters there and big flyers, here we have Marcus Crawford all the way in from the great state of Idaho. Bill was just remarking, he made a comment in the chat last night about this, the smart controller that's coming in the SIM package. And I think what you're trying to say, Bill, it may be actually smart controller 1.5.
Right. I think it's an interim version.
Stopgap.
Yeah, stopgap. Exactly.
So you think when they really get serious about the smart controller too, it will more or less resemble the Autel smart control. It will have that kind of 7.9 8-inch screen. It will have the advanced antennas. And I don't, when I say advanced antennas, you could remove those antennas on the Autel one and put better ones on, for more range and more powerful processors. You can run other apps. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if this is going to be. I like your scenario, Bill. I hope it's right.
Well, Maddie nailed it last night, because I think for me, I love the smart controller, but the real estate on there for me, with the screen size, okay, it could be bigger. All right. And having that 8-inch tablet, that's a perfect size. All right. That is an absolutely perfect size.
Bill, I heard your comment about the triple tech. And did you guys both see Russ's video on it today?
No, I didn't.
I saw today. I watched it yesterday. Whatever. I saw it. Yeah.
He just, I mean, there's such a thing as a glowing review, and then there's a super glowing review, and that's what he gave it. He really, really liked it. And I suppose part of that is colored by his experience that he had with his iPhone dimming while he was flying and lost his drone. But he gave it a very, very good review, and he said it's very powerful, very fast. He even had it. What I thought was really cool is he showed a demonstration of the different brightnesses of the smart controller, the triple tech, an iPhone, and I think he had an iPad as well. Ron, wasn't it?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Bill, I think you're onto something, and particularly because you live in the Android world already. To me, it makes total sense.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, you know who turned me on to it was our good friend Reginald Dobo, Ken. He had gotten it, and he was a very early adopter. And down in Florida, you need something with a lot of nits. Okay, it's just, and whether it's spring, summer, winter, or fall. Okay, the sun is always going to beat down here. Okay, it'll be at different angles, but I saw it, and I was like with him, I'm like sold. You know, it's just I'm going to have the funds in November to be able to do it, and that's what I'm going to get. And and the nice thing about that tablet also too, you can get a SIM card for it, you know, whether you do T-Mobile, AT&T, or
you can use it like a phone.
Yeah,
you can
exactly.
be talking, hey, Ron, thanks for calling me out in the field here.
Here's my phone. It's a little big, okay?
Yeah.
You know,
and Bill, one thing you kind of skipped over here too. What makes the triple tech good is for guys that fly, say, Autel and DJI. They don't have to get two costly smart controllers. They get the triple tech, and they can bounce back and forth between the platforms.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the only negative I can think of, and that is the fact that you have to sideload the Fly app. I sincerely hope that for whatever reason that DJI cannot be in the Google Play Store. I hope they get that figured out.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that either.
And here's the other two cons, Marcus. So over a smart controller, okay, you have to get the cabling and connect it. So you have to connect it every time through cabling, and also depending on what controller you're using with, you have to get some kind of adapter or whatever.
Hold it.
But
right
I saw
Mr.
Russ put
Brown.
that thing on the back, but you also saw Russ that he said you could do it that way, but he recommended a third party.
No, he said just the opposite, Ron. You and I watched a different video.
Huh.
He actually said, I'm just giving you a hard time, Ron. No, but seriously, what he said in the video was he said, I don't know why you would use an aftermarket holder. What it has, Bill, is you can bolt a strap for your hand on the back of it. He says he just took that strap, he wrapped it around the holder on the controller, and it worked great.
Yeah, but here's what he did not show. Okay, you got an 8-inch tablet. I know this is thinner than the first one, and the controller. That's a lot of weight in your hands. Where do you put your lanyard on if you don't buy a third-party mount?
Solid point, Ron. Good point.
Yeah. I mean, these things, once you get those full-size tablets on a hefty controller, I mean, if you're flying for 30 minutes, 46 minutes in the Mavic 3's case or whatever, that's a long time to hold that weight. It's much better to have some kind of Bill remembers from the Mavic 4 days or whatever, when you did the tablet mount on that thing, but that had that nice, hook right in there. You could just put any lanyard, hook it on, and you had that nice balance of weight
on there.
There are some downsides to the triple tech over the smart control. Now, if you only flew DJI, that's the only drone you flew, I'd probably recommend, just like Bill said, just hold out to see if a smart controller 2 comes and buy that, especially even if it's a couple $100 more than triple tech, because you don't have the cabling, you don't have the mounting issues or whatever. It's kind of always going to work or whatever. The apps are going to be on there. But if you would bounce back and forth between different drones, the triple tech could save you buying 2 smart controllers.
Well, Lift Thor or Thor, I don't know if you've seen that. He makes some excellent mounts on, and I had one of those, and they work very well. He does a great job with those, and his business is really taken off with that. For me, I'm going to get it because and I don't know if you guys caught the earlier segment. I am going to get the Nano, but not right now. I'm not going to do it right away. You know, that's
you
going
probably
to
won't get it right away anyways, so it's no.
Yeah, I talked about that a little bit. You know, I said, you know, I've only seen one problem at this point in time. It's going to be supply, okay? Because I think demand is going to exceed supply for the Nano.
So, Bill, what do you think about that? You know, they're selling it on AliExpress right now, but I think it's just a limited amount. My suspicion is, I'll see what you guys think. I suspect that it's just like what we saw with the Fimi. They've got a few from an initial build, and they're selling them on AliExpress, and then you know the rest.
Yeah,
of it's
DroneWorks had them. When I did my segment, I brought it up. DroneWorks has them on their website. Okay. Now, I don't know if it's a deposit or purchase. And I saw somewhere today, somebody had posted that they're going to be out in 7 days. That's what somebody said from today.
Marcus, you and I should have taken pre-orders again on it.
Yeah, we should have. Yeah.
You send us a bunch of money in, and we'll send you the drone eventually.
So you'll get it someday. And we could, instead of like when you get the drone, like I named my Mini SC, the Johnny Mini SC, we'll name this new one the Ronnie the Ronnie Nano.
Or after Marcus and I make a killing in a Dutch coffee stock or whatever on the minor side, we'll call it the Dutch Nano.
Don't be knocking Dutch brothers, let me tell you.
But we'll take all that pre-order money, put it in the Dutch brothers for a while, let it get big, and then we'll send everybody their drones.
There you go.
Now, you know, one of the other things that I wanted to talk about the Mavic 3 was, and you guys kind of touched on it last night, and I'm glad Lauren was on the chat because he really cleared something up. And it's about when the availability of this drone. One of the things that I wanted to say, and I did drop this in the chat last night, is, you know, I know Lon said it's sitting in ships offshore. I disagree, Lon. They're already sitting in warehouses right now, okay? Because they would not be going ahead with these announcements, with these drones sitting in a ship that you don't know whether or not it's going to unload, okay? They're sitting in warehouses. It's ready to go. Now, why? And I think DJI's strategy is this. They want you to buy from them directly right now at this initial point in time. You know, why they're doing that? They want to be in control, because when you have to, when you give product to Best Buy, when you give product to Amazon, you don't know whether or not they're going to sell. Okay.
Just a quick point. You just mentioned Best Buy, Bill. I just happened to notice, and I posted it on Drone Nation. Best Buy currently has the first gen Evo refurb on sale for $499. So,
wow.
Yeah, if that's a drone you've always wanted, it's a very limited time sale. You ought to get out there on Best Buy.
So for the same money that the Hubsan Zino Mini Pro would cost you, you'd get Evo 1.
That's exactly what I was thinking, Ron.
That's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
That's a total no-brainer. I mean, yeah. as far as that's concerned. And, you know, why DJI is pushing this strategy, I think the thing is, I think they want to be in control, because, you know, Frank Wang, say it, you know, say what you will, he likes to be in charge, okay? He likes to be, in that way, they control the marketing, they control the distribution, they control the shipping. It's all in their hands. And when it gets to other resellers like Amazon and Best Buy, it's out of their hands at that point in time. You know.
So did you see Lauren's comment? I mean, he's kind of in line with what you're talking about there.
No, I didn't know he was in the chat tonight.
Yeah. He's about 4 comments from the bottom. He thinks it has more to do with the dealers than it does the big box stores.
Okay. Yeah. I hear you. And I was right. That's exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking that, you know, they want to be in charge. They want to be number one. And yeah, they're going to screw. And I can tell you, Lauren is right, because I know a couple of dealers here in Florida, and they did not have, it was not a warm and fuzzy relationship with them. Okay. With DJI.
Hey, Bill, though, let me ask you this. And this, let me just play the devil's advocate for a second. And Ron, being in retail, Ron knows better than I, but I have to tell you, from what I know from being in the dairy industry and dealing with big companies, that is not going to sit well with Best Buy.
No.
I'm just telling you.
No.
Best Buy, they are liable to tell DJI that, well, I doubt if they'd kick them completely out, but they would definitely set them on the back burner and really push another product. I mean, that is not going to sit
I
well.
made this analogy, and I'll go real fast because I said it before. You know, if DJI does it to Best Buy, what Best Buy will do is you'll walk into the drone department, right, and you'll ask for the Mavic 3, and you know what the sales clerks will say to you? You don't want that Mavic 3. We got all these Autel drones. They're better than DJI anyways, and we got them right here now. The same thing happened in the old days. You would go in Best Buy looking for DJI, and they were trying to sell you that 3-yard drone. They were trying to push that drone for some reason. And believe me, but DJI, they probably don't think of this because Frank Wang probably doesn't shop in the Best Buy in the US, but they will go and they will push the other drones for them. So
oh yeah,
a lot of people that aren't drone savvy are going to walk out of Best Buy with the Autel because that's what the sales guy told them to get.
Right. They'll tell them, you know, what do you need? What do you know, you can't get a Mavic 3 right now. You can get this right here and you can take it home today and charge the battery and be flying it and get great pictures and video.
They'll say it's just as good as the Mavic 3. That's what the
exactly.
sales clerk will say. So,
exactly.
Yeah, and Mark's about retail. I mean, I worked for Foot Locker for years, and we were really tightly integrated with Nike. And when Nike had their big release shoes come out, especially their premium Jordan shoes, we would get them the same day that Nike would offer them for sale. There was never an instance where Nike held their shoes back from us and only sold themselves. So if DJI did this, it would be kind of unprecedented for a company of their size to hold back, not necessarily dealers, but their retail partners. Oh, okay, if you're a DJI, what if they tell Apple? You know, Apple's always had their, the DJI drones on that little shelf. They've always had the premium drones. They had the Mavic 1 before any other retailer, big box store, had it in the U.S. What if they tell Apple, well, we're not going to let you have the drone right away. We're going to sell for a few weeks, then we'll give it to you later. Can you imagine Apple's reaction? I mean, they don't need DJI to save anything. They can say, oh, it's fine. Right now, we're going to box up all your products. We're going to send them right back to you now, whatever. And guess what? From the next 10 years, we get Autel on the shelf there. Screw you guys. You little, pissy head company or whatever,
Ron, I've been on the receiving end of some of those phone calls from some rather big grocers before saying, hey, you know what? Come get all your product out of our cooler. We've got a different idea.
And get it out in 24 hours. Get it out in 24 hours, and we'll be sitting out back waiting for you.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. So
I hope you're wrong about this one, Bill, because I don't think that would be a good business move for DJI in the long term. So I hope that doesn't happen. I hope they at least give their retail partners. I don't even understand the whole dealer relationship, so I'm not going to comment on that. Lauren's better for that. But just with the big box stores and Amazon, I hope they give them a fair amount of product to get started with. Marcus.
Hey, Ron, I need to hold up. And Bill, you saw Lloyd's comment there.
Yeah,
Lloyd,
I'm posting it right now.
Yeah, go ahead.
If we can remember Lloyd's wife in our thoughts and prayers, Lloyd's not able to chat tonight. He's in the ER. He took his wife by ambulance. She has breathing difficulties. And the EMTs think it's pneumonia. And let's say,
prayers for Judy tonight.
Definitely. Lloyd, we're thinking of you. Please keep us posted. Please either drop us a Facebook Messenger or chat with any of us. Let us know how she's doing. We'll keep others posted and aware. We're really sorry to hear that and hope it is pneumonia. Just really. With everything going on today, we really kind of hope for that. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry to hear it, Lloyd.
Yeah. It's just, and I'll tell you what here. All right. With all this stuff. Okay, guys, we haven't seen this much, movement and action and everything. I mean, I think Ron talked about, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, it's like most of this year was kind of like just going along and, we were scrounging for stuff to talk about. We're focusing on the disasters from Fimi and the disasters.
We had a slow summer because we got the DJI got their 2 big drones out in basically the early part of the year.
Yeah, and we're taking X's off on the days how long Hubsan was holding our money and how long Fimi was holding our money.
Yep, and will the SE ever come out in the U.S. The Mini SE? So yeah, it was kind of like a disappointing summer. The two drones we were expecting were kind of a letdown, and the SE you kind of gets a game in. But while you brought Hubsan up for a second, Bill, what do you think of the diagrams released just in the last couple of days? The Hubsan looks like they had themselves a larger Micro Four Thirds base drone, and they already have a price point of $12.99. Now, what if they would package out with a smart controller? With say 1,000, 1,200 nits or whatever. Could they actually come in and kind of steal some of the market away from DJI and Autel if they ever get the Evo 3 out? If they actually get one right this time?
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And that's what I'm going to say, because it's the boy cried wolf here. Okay, finally, by the time there really is a wolf, nobody's paying attention. And I think it's the same thing here with Hubsan. All right, how many times have we been to the dance with Hubsan, and it's not the girl we expected at the dance. All right, I mean, here we are, the Zino. Okay, and let's just, for argument's sake, it did get refined, but it took some time. Okay, let's say a lot of plastic surgery. Okay, and makeup, and it got taken care of.
She needed a makeover, huh?
Yeah, she needed a makeover. Then the Zino 2, all right, and it had its problems and its issues, and now the Zino Mini. It's like they always show a lot of promise, but in the end, it just takes a lot of tweaking and a lot. It's out of the box. It's never right. Go ahead, Marcus.
Well, I just wanted to expand a little bit and talk about, okay, that's going to be a larger format drone, a bigger drone. And the Zino 2 Plus is actually a pretty darn good drone. And right out of the box, it was pretty good. I didn't have a lot of issues with it. In typical of the Zino fashion, it was not very stable. They've seemed to have cured that with the Zino Mini. That's a very stable drone. If they could put all that together on this next, and they may not be reinventing the wheel so much on this bigger drone, my biggest concern would be their camera technology.
Gimbal and camera, right, Marcus?
Well, yeah, exactly. Because they got this big sensor on this Zino Mini Pro. And I mean, in fact, Bill, I was telling Ron last night, I just happened to run across one of my old videos with the original Zino. And I'm telling you, the video off the original Zino looks better than what's coming out of the Zino Mini Pro. Jeez. How can that possibly be? How can that be?
Yeah.
And I asked both of you guys, okay, now even though Hubsan's now even dipping their toes in the 4/3 world, is the 4/3 camera sensor, is that going to be the de facto, basically, a camera on all non-mini drones moving forward, guys?
Probably is. It's probably going to be
even the bargain basement guys are adopting it. That's a new standard now, isn't it?
Ronnie, I just got my first drone with a 1-inch sensor.
Yeah, well, I guess, yeah, Marcus, sorry, but I guess we can have a couple categories. We can have, over $1,000 drones having 4/3. We can have like Air 2 and and Autel lights, those kind of like right around $1,000 drones with 1-inch sensors. Then you can have your under $600-700 mini drones being your traditional smaller sensors. Anyhow, it seems like the 4/3 sensor is kind of here to stay, because the Evo 3 will be coming out with it, someday. Hubsan's trying to put one out. DJI has moved to it. So, these aren't our father's sensors anymore.
No, they're not. They're not. And, and it's like, I think it's going to, Ron, you hit a great point, because I think it's going to be the new baseline. I think it's going to be, I think the bar is going to be set with that sensor. And in order to achieve let's say above $1,000 drone status, an elite one, you're going to that's going to be the minimum. All right. As far as,
and if you try to come out with an over $1,000 drone and doesn't have one, you're not playing the big leagues.
Right. Absolutely. Well, and okay, I'm, Marcus, I got to hand my hat off to Marcus each and every time I see him taking a Hubsan drone up, okay? Because a lot of times it's a labor of love, okay? And I know he gets frustrated is the Dickens with it sometimes. You know, he has, and my hat's off to you, Marcus, because you have a lot of tenacity and a lot of what I call throughput. You know, you're willing to see it through, and not a lot of people are, and you are really dedicated to that. So, you know, kudos to you. Huge kudos to you.
But most guys who put that bracket in the car get their DJI drone out and finish the day flying with that. Yeah.
Well, you know, and it's like, you know, for me, you know, and I think my standard is this, okay? You know, and I found out real quickly when I got my first Fimi, all right, you know, it wasn't a DJI, all right? It wasn't like out of the box, charge the controller, charge the batteries, ready to rock and roll, okay? It doesn't do that. It's not like that here, folks, all right? Got to run this calibration, got to do that firmware update, got to do that firmware update, and then cross your fingers, all right? And don't fly in that one zone because you're going to lose signal, and make sure, no.
Remember, you used to have that bad zone over your old lake or whatever. You even had trouble with some DJI drones over that. We'll call it the dead zone.
That dead zone over there, yeah. Right? Now, see, what I could do with the DJI drones, I would angle it a little more, and I'd be okay. But with the Fimi, I mean, I went to the back of that part of that lake, and it's still conked out on me. It still lost signal over there.
The Bermuda Triangle?
Yes, it was the Riverview Triangle, Riverview, Florida Triangle.
You know, Bill.
Hey, I got to stop the show. Dr. Ted says you guys are the best. Send that man a free T-shirt, Bill.
Well, Dr. Ted knows his stuff.
Yeah, Dr. Ted's a smart man.
Well, seriously, thank you, Dr. B.
Yes, thank you. And let's also look at what Lauren just said. You're going to be surprised to know the Mavic 3 has been in development for about a year and a half.
Well, yeah, because the Mavic 2 was so long lived that there's no question. And being their kind of their halo product, they also know they have to get it right.
Yeah.
Oh, and watch out, Greg Pittman's coming after you, Marcus. He's got his third Zino Mini.
Wow, so they replaced the second one. So he had problems with the second one they sent him. Well, but here's what I'll say. At least they're helping their customers at the end of the day. So, I mean, it's not like they're just ignoring you. So that's, I don't know. I'm trying to think positive here.
Wow. Yeah, and there's another one from Lauren.
Oh, and guys, did you see Billy Kyle's tweet today? He tweeted out a picture of the Evolve 2, and I don't mean a publicity picture, a picture of him having the Evolve 2 drone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He said he's got the tweet out, and so we're looking. Our good buddy Hot Rod Daytona reported that the Evo 2 is available for pre-order and supposedly shipping in 2 or 3 weeks. So there's another 4-sensor drone coming out, Bill. And of all the ones we talked about, I believe it's the only one that's going to have interchangeable camera lenses.
Yeah, the Evolve 2.
That Evolve 2. Yeah, that's going to be real interesting to see. You know, one of the things that they were talking about was they're hoping it has improved flight characteristics, because the first of all, flight characteristics left a lot to be desired.
Yeah, well, I mean, Rod and I had a little talk about that today too, and he's anxious to see the reviews on it, but he's the one somebody sitting there half the review saying it doesn't fly like a DJI drone or whatever. I mean, if you're going to say it has bad flight characteristics, tell me those characteristics. Like say, well, it pulls to the left, or it doesn't take off right. Just don't, that's like getting up there and saying, well, a Ford doesn't drive like a Chevy without giving me specifics of whatever. So, I don't want to see a lot of time wasted in review saying it doesn't fly like a DJI drone, because that doesn't, if you don't tell me the specifics of why it doesn't fly like a DJI drone, that's just opinion. That's like saying, my girlfriend's better looking than your girlfriend. It's all opinion.
Yeah, it's all opinion. Exactly. Dr. Ted has an invitation for you to fly, Marcus. don't know if you saw that in the chat.
Yeah, well, we just need to make that happen. Absolutely.
Now, Marcus will make a personal fly appearance with you. He only charges $100 per flight to meet up with you, and he'll show you all his moves and tricks and whatever. So, just send the money in right now. And
that's for Dr. B. I'd fly with Dr. B anytime. Yeah.
Hey, Lauren's got to go. He's saying later I'll have a good night. Good night, Lauren. I hope you're doing well in your recovery.
Yes. Good night. Good night, Lauren. And yeah, our thoughts and prayers.
Lauren, tell Frank Wang we all said hello when you talk to him next time.
Well, any closing thoughts, Ron?
I think, like you were saying, it's exciting times now. It seems like it's going to be something happen. We're waiting for that promo video to come out tomorrow. Probably going to be for the Osmo 2, Action 2. But then we got the other dates, like is the 20th. Maybe we'll see something then. We got a lot coming up. And it looks like all the DJI stuff's going to happen maybe before any Autel. I hope Marcus gets his Autel in a matter of a week or so, whatever. But I think we're going to know all the DJI news before these guys get their hands on their Autel drones. So I want to thank everybody in the chat tonight. I see many of the great names that follow a lot of the shows out there. And I would name all the names off, we don't have enough time, but thank you for everybody for, coming to the show, helping contribute tonight. I want to remind everybody we got Spin Up coming up, November 6th, Marcus?
Yes.
Only a few weeks away now, so there's still tickets available and there's still rooms at the official Drone Nation hotel or whatever, just hit up Kelly Shores and he'll get you in. But I'm going to throw it over to Marcus.
Yeah, listen, it is a beautiful time of the year to be out flying your drone. The leaves are changing. We've had some really blustery, windy days here last couple of days, so I wanted to get out and fly. Haven't been able to do it, but hopefully in the next few days, things will calm down a little bit. Get out and fly your drone. There's a lot of cool stuff coming, but I'm just going to tell you, we got great drones in our hands right now. Get out and fly them.
I want to echo Marcus's sentiment exactly. That Air 2S. Oh, I want to make an official announcement. My Mavic 2 Pro has been officially sold. It's no longer.
Oh, really?
No longer. It is the longest I've ever owned a drone. Okay, 3 years.
What drones do you still have, Bill?
I have the Air 2S.
Wow.
That's it. So I sold the Mini 2 a few weeks back.
The decks are cleared for the new guys.
The decks are cleared. We're clearing the deck here for the Mavic 3 Pro.
You're the ones as bad as Mikey. Mikey's having that big fire sale over there.
Yeah, I saw that, and it's just and it comes at a good time for me because we get our 13-month. We get paid once a month. We get a bonus check in November, so timing could not be better for me as far as that's concerned. Plus, with the proceeds from the Mavic 2 sale, I actually did pretty good, and it sold within 45 minutes after I listed it on.
A lot of people say that there's a market for those right now because, of course, you can't get it from DJI, and a lot of people don't want the Mavic 3 because they don't want the money or whatever. They don't want it, so they want to get these Mavic 2 Pros and keep that thing flying for a couple years. So
yeah, and I think the thing is, and I think a lot of people were scared of this Cine Premium combo, and I'm going to tell you this: unless you have the capabilities of Original Dobo or Billy Kyle or like our good friend Cliff Totten, okay, if you're a master videographer, photographer, go for it. If you're not, if you're a hobbyist like most of us are, don't even think about it because you're going to have to pay licensing fees afterwards and all this. You don't need it, okay? And in the cost breakdown, I think Lon did a pretty good job in the chat. He broke the cost breakdown of the Cine Premium combo and why it costs as much as it is. And it's going to have that terabyte of onboard storage, which really eats up a lot of money as well too. So
if you really want to shoot an Apple ProRes, just buy the iPhone 13 Pro. You'll have ProRes video in there for free, and you can add it for free on any Apple device. Doesn't cost you anything if you want to play around with ProRes video. If you're in the Apple ecosystem.
There's your tip of the week from Mr. Ron Brown. So,
and of course, Marcus and I talked about this all fair. I know we're trying to go here, but Apple ProRes is never meant for consumers. It's meant for like when ESPN, uses Apple stuff or ABC or whatever. It's not praised for the consumer because it was never intended for the consumer.
Well, here's the stuff that I still don't understand is like I go into my Insta360 app to process my video off of my Insta360 Go 2, and I can choose from the codecs. I can choose ProRes. I don't know.
Maybe it's not Apple's ProRes.
Maybe.
I can't answer it for you. I'm just guessing with that.
Yeah, I don't know on that either. So, well. Guys, thank you guys so much. And as I said earlier, before you guys joined, last week's show was the most watched Rotor Talk live that I've had in the history of the show. So
what were we giving away?
What were we giving away?
Ron's knowledge.
Ron's knowledge. There we go. Yes. Ron's tip of the week.
We were giving away Marcus's original Fimi Mini.
With the broken leg.
With a broken leg.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Want to thank you all for tuning in. Great chat, great conversations. Pay attention to what's going on. It's a lot of fun. And remember, it's always a great day to fly. Take care, everybody. Have a good week.
Hey guys.